But I'm going to turn this over now and stop sharing and give the screen over to our good friend Megan, who's going to share what's really happening in their space. A lot of innovation and a lot of news. So Megan, go ahead. You have the screen.
All right. I do have the screen, but I did not have the mute button. So welcome everybody. And what a wonderful dialogue to follow as we segue into Classlink and what we're doing here and what we've seen this past 18 months and the journey that we've all been on surrounding digital teaching and learning. And, you know, obviously with the pandemic, that has put this at the forefront of every conversation is, you know, how do we improve access? How do we get our kids logged into their resources quickly, efficiently? How do we have one place for everything? How do we have interoperability between all of our systems and our services? And now the desperate need for that. Also, another topic that we'll talk about today and how Classlink fits within this puzzle is the discussion surrounding engagement and analytics. Now, as we've invested considerable funds into all of these resources, there comes the question of who's actually using them, and are we using them with fidelity, and who can see these analytics? Are they readily available? Are they integrated across our system at all these different levels where teachers can see analytics for students and staff can, you know, principals can see it for teachers and administrators can see it across the board, and why that is so important. And not just the fact that you're clicking on a resource and opening it, but the fact that we can track activity within that resource. So engagement within your digital tools. So not only are they logged into iExcel or HMH or whatever that particular publisher or tool, Schoology as was just mentioned, but how long are they active and engaged, and can we get a full picture of analytics? So not only analytics from within the Classlink portal, but analytics across all your different devices. So if you bypass the portal, who's going to capture that data that they've logged into Schoology if it doesn't happen through Classlink or through whatever that portal may be that you're using for single sign-on? And then, of course, comes the conversation surrounding rostering and the sending of data from your student information system to your third-party applications. Now, that is a conversation within itself for those that are working in that space, and where you might have had a system in place that might have been cobbled together with a little automation and then some that's not so much, you know, and some manual. Now we need just automation across the board. We need to be sort of supporting open data standards. You need to be able to do your rostering in a couple clicks. You need fix it and forget it type systems. We just don't have the capacity to support all of these digital tools that we're supporting now. You know, our libraries have grown and our staffs have not. If anything, our libraries of digital tools have grown, but our staffs have diminished considerably for many school systems out there. So Classlink is kind of, you know, focusing in on that and help filling that gap too. As your staff is leaving, you need to turn to tools that can backfill and take work off your plate so you can focus on different things. So a little bit about Classlink as a company. We've been in this space for 22 years. We are new by no stretch. I've been with Classlink for 10 years. We support, you know, over 17,000 school systems globally, but we're primarily here in the United States. And our system is designed for K through 12 education specifically. So every tool that you see, every feature that you see, all of the workflows that you see are designed for you and are designed for our customers. And I can tell you right now that our new Analytics Plus tool came at the request of McMinn County here in Tennessee. There were lots of requests for it, but McMinn County pushed it over the finish line with our CEO, and Greenville County actually too had, you know, a big say in some of our analytics that we offer. So we listen to our customers and we support them globally. We're statewide here in the United States, so 2 statewide deployments, and we have 400 vendor partners for rostering specifically, different than single sign-on, but for rostering. And of those vendor partners, there are, you know, multiple companies under those umbrellas of 400. So I must say that I am very proud of Tennessee as a state. I am proud of these partnerships. I'm proud of all of the people that are standing behind these district names. This is just a phenomenal state to work with and support here. At Classlink, we love all of these customers dearly, and we do great work in Tennessee. So if you ever want to hear about Classlink, just go next door and talk to your neighbor, because we've got a lot of them using our services, and we have rapid growth in this state. And we're so, blessed to have all of these customers to work with here. So I mentioned this before, but be aware Classlink has a single sign-on portal where all of your resources are housed in one place. So you might have a portal that has 50 applications, and then you might need to go somewhere for, 3 or 4 or 10 or 20, or, you're using Google for some things and a single sign-on portal for others. The difference with Classlink is everything is in one place. So you only have, one portal that pops up when you log into your device. You can personalize it. You can personalize it for your students, and off you go. No more URLs, no more usernames and passwords, no more logins. You just click and boom, you're taken to where you need to go. Also important, I mentioned this, we're tracking activity within those portals and even outside the portal, and delivering it to all different individuals across your district that might need to track engagement. And we've invested XYZ amount of dollars in XYZ resource, and are we using that? You need to see that. You need to track that. You need to keep tabs on that, because, you may have funds now that aren't going to be there in, 3 to 5 years. And we really got to know what's working and what's not working. We have tools that help your technology departments. So as I said, we roster into your applications. We create those accounts that you use to log into your device, your Google account, your Active Directory, your network email accounts. We have tools that create that. And what does that mean for you? It means, new students added, and 2 minutes later, they can log into their Chromebook, or they can log into their Windows device, and then the next day they've got access to all of their digital tools, and you're not losing that valuable instructional time rostering and creating identities. Like, this is all fully automated, and you're not leveraging that staff too. Not everybody has massive departments, like some of our largest customers. We're working with small teams that need to do these activities, and automation is a game changer. We have community features for parents, and we have a public portal as well for the general community, where they can log in, or not log in, but they can go to your website and they can see, here are all of the resources that are being used at XYZ elementary school, and look at all this great content that they're using. And you can get information on that on various applications for data privacy concerns. You can get a link to the acceptable use policy. You can find out about different applications. So we truly are, a full service provider. And then behind the scenes, even not on this slide, we have all different methodologies for two-factor, which now has been, if there are any tech folks in here, everyone's talking about two-factor and the needs to have two-factor for insurance and things like that are bubbling up. And Classlink can really help there and overlay different types of two-factor throughout the platform and within components of the platform. And that's also another conversation to be had for a later date if you so choose. Let me show you quickly what Classlink looks like, so you can get a look and feel. And if you're a customer, you're probably eating your sandwich and tuning out. But if you're not a customer or using something different, this is kind of what we offer here. So here is kind of a general login page, a customer of ours, that we create a look and feel, and you can call Classlink whatever you want. You have a system that's homegrown that you want to kind of give it a facelift, you call Classlink. It doesn't have to be Classlink. It can be rebranded for you. And then most importantly, to log in, you log in the same way you're logging into your computer or your device at school. It's so, so important that these students do not have one more login. Your staff does not have to have a new login. That login to that computer is their login into Classlink. So it's something that they already know. And for the younger students, your elementary school teachers, your kindergarten teachers will write a song about you if you can give them a QR code. And that's all that those students need to log in. Also at home, send the students home with their QR code, and parents can use that to log their children into the platforms. All of the platforms, one QR code. So once you log into Classlink, you have a portal essentially that's designed for you. We talk a lot about personalized learning, and you definitely do not want to be seeing icons that aren't relevant, or that you don't have an authentication for, or that you click and don't take you somewhere. With Classlink, you only see the different resources that you need to see, that you can authenticate into and have credentials for. So, an elementary school student would see something different than a high school student, etc. All I need to do to open a resource is I click and I log in. So when we talk about rostering too, behind the scenes to make these icons appear on the pages of the individuals that need them. So we're rostering and we're sending that data from your student information system. And so that is what this, provider Canvas in this example has already been rostered into. And Canvas appears on the Classlink portals of all the individuals that need them. And when they click on Canvas, they're automatically authenticated in. There is never any distribution of a username or a password. There's never any, you need to go to this URL. It's all done and it's all seamless. Let's say you switch from Canvas to Schoology. Canvas disappears, Schoology appears. Boom, you click and you're logged in. It makes for a really simple and seamless transition between resources. And it's just, it'll help tremendously with that access piece that was so frustrating in the pandemic. Was now we're leaning in on these digital tools, and how are we going to get credentials out, and how do we help parents, and how are we getting teachers and students in and where they need to go effortlessly, where you log in and this is what you have, no question, no ifs, ands, or buts. And so it's not only education applications, it's any URL, any web link. I mean, we'll link to your help desk ticket system. We'll link to, if you can dream it up and it has a URL, if it's something you've built, we'll put it in here. So for an example of that, you might have your all your HR resources. Let me switch here. You might have all your HR resources in a folder. You might have all your library applications in a folder. So we just kind of got done talking about that. Imagine, having a folder with all your library tools here within Classlink. Lunch menus, bus schedules. Again, if you can dream it up, we can build it in. And your different schools might have different folders with alternating library resources. We talked a lot, or we just heard a little bit about professional development. That is one piece that Classlink takes very seriously. We have teams that go in and build courses and resources for our users. So we have something called a Classlink Academy that's built in to the portal, where you can go in as a teacher, as a student, as an administrator, and learn about all of the different functionality within Classlink and using the portal. This is included in addition to your onboarding training that you receive. So just know that we have all kinds of training in here, and we're actually really excited to build this out. And we're going to include podcasts and professional development opportunities in general, not necessarily related to Classlink specifically, but related to digital teaching and learning, and just another value add for our end users. I mentioned that this portal can be personalized. So you can easily go in and add to your Classlink experience and add all of the resources that you're using independently of your school or district. And someone in curriculum and instruction or in the library and media center might curate libraries here for you to go in and choose from. So again, just to piggyback off what was mentioned prior, was you need resources you need teams to vet and recommend various applications. And here is a place where you can put those recommended applications if you need a specific graphing calculator, for example. And I can go in and add that to my Classlink portal here from our district library. Requests can also be made directly through this as well. Analytics are a topic of tremendous importance, and everyone's talking about data these days and making data-driven decisions. Just know that we have here, even at the teacher level, the ability for teachers to see their students' use. So teachers and students have a tool called My Classes built into Classlink, where they can have their single sign-on connectors organized next to their class schedule. So wherever I'm at in my day, I can see the various different tools that I need and have direct access into those tools without having to log in. And if I open one of these different classes, I can actually see activity within that class. I can see my class roster. I can see which students have logged in on what day and what percentage of my class is logged in on any given day into Classlink. And then I can also see, more importantly, how much time my students have spent in the different resources within Classlink. So not only have they logged in, but Brendan spent 4 hours in Skyward on Monday. And Josephine spent 3 hours in Renaissance. So I can see not only that they've logged in, but how long they have been logged into the individual resources and tools within the platform. Also, just to talk a little bit about analytics as a whole, you can see within Classlink as an administrator, as a principal, as anyone with kind of an upper level kind of access or leadership type of role, you can see and track all of the activity within Classlink. So anyone that's opened a resource, anyone that's added a resource, their engagement within that particular resource, we deliver to you in real time with these graphs and charts. And you can give pieces of this to different profiles across your school district. So you might have, tech coaches that work with several different schools. They can see analytics for just those schools, or a principal can see analytics for just his or her school. So again, lots of data sharing and lots of ability to kind of collaborate and have conversations around this data as you're putting together your digital teaching and learning plans and initiatives and evaluations. So here I can see all activity within Classlink. I can see all of the applications that I access from within Classlink and with what frequency. So I can see here that Canvas was launched 7.3 million times last month. They spent, 118,000 hours within Canvas. And every time they're launching Canvas, they're spending approximately 11 minutes within that tool. I can also compare resources. So you might want to look at your different publishers and compare those different applications and see the use one right next to another. I also have the capability of opening up a particular resource and looking at the usage within that application. So what do my logins look like with my students compared to my teachers? What does my logins look like after hours? Like, what do my logins look like on a Saturday or a Sunday? Who are my top users within Canvas? How can I target my best users to add greater professional development, opportunities to my teachers that might be struggling with adopting a new platform? We've all seen that this past 18 months. Teachers are being forced to teach in new ways, and that's a major focus. And you need to be able to see within your individual resources who your top performers are and who's struggling. And then I can also look at my individual buildings. So how are my high schools using Canvas? How are my elementary schools using Canvas? What does the usage look like within those locations? I can also compare my applications my buildings side by side. So you might want to take a look at 4 of your high schools, and you might want to compare the usage within those locations, one right next to another. So I can see all their data, how often they've logged in, etc. We have heat maps built in where at a glance, you can look at percentages. So what percentage of these buildings have logged in on any given day? And then not only have they logged in, but how many hours have they spent in their different applications? So this is extremely helpful. And you can say, gosh, here I have this Avalon Middle School that spent 1,000 hours in all of their resources and tools on yesterday, Tuesday. And then I have another middle school that only spent, hypothetically 210 hours. Why is there that discrepancy? And then, of course, if you open this, and it's a big data set to pull, so just bear with me, you can actually see the usage in that middle school. So they've logged in, and you can see everyone that resides in that particular location. And I can see any given day, have they logged in? And if so, what applications have they logged into? And how long have they spent in those different applications? So we'll wait for this we'll just move on. But anyways, it's really nice from an instructional standpoint to see not only who's logged in, but how long they have logged in for and what those applications are. And again, this has been anonymized, so it's kind of, the data looks a little strange here. Some of the numbers, this comes from an existing customer. Some of the numbers are accurate, but here they are not in this particular case. All right, last but not least, we have cost calculators built into Classlink. So you can go in and see, how much you're budgeting for your different resources, how much you're spending on those particular tools, and then we will do some comparisons. We'll run some numbers so you can plug in how much an application costs, how many licenses you've purchased for that particular provider. And then we'll compare that to your unique logins. So how many unique individuals have logged in over a set period of time, compare that back to your license count and give you some numbers. So you might think you're getting an amazing deal on Mickey Mouse math. And to my knowledge, there is no Mickey Mouse math, which is why I use that as an example, but you're getting this great deal. And in actuality, you only have a very small percentage of your licensed users logging in, and you're actually spending a lot more money on Mickey Mouse math than what you had originally planned for. Classlink captures this data across every single application. So, you will be capturing this on thousands and thousands of tools. So that's what's so exciting about it. It's non-biased, it's uniform, so the data will match across all the platforms. And you can see the resources that teachers are adding, students are adding that you might not have been aware of, right? And Classlink will capture that. Really exciting as well, that is new this year, is our new tool called Analytics Plus. And this is capturing data outside of the Classlink portal. So if you have district-owned devices, so, you got your iPads, you got your Chromebooks, you got your Dell devices, your Windows devices, we can now, if someone bypasses Classlink, we'll capture that data for you. We'll tell you, again, what resources they're logging into. We'll track their activity within those resources, and combined, now you can get a full picture of digital resource usage and engagement across your entire school district. So analytics are capturing it within, Analytics Plus captures it without, and you can overlay those and see. Another really exciting part to Analytics Plus is if you have iPads, it has always traditionally been very challenging to capture that native app usage, and this tool will do that for you. So again, lots of exciting stuff here happening at Classlink, lots of growth. And, we've just been through quite the evolution in the past 18 months, which, has been painful yet exciting and thrilling, as I'm sure we can all, pray for smoother waters, hopefully in the future. But that's pretty much what's new. Does anybody have any questions for me? Questions about Classlink? Thoughts, feelings, emotions?
Let me see. There was a comment in chat from Tracy Hoover. We are a Classlink district, she said.
Yes, you are. Thank you.
Yeah. So I'm checking for any questions right now, just to see if there's any. I don't see any. But you mentioned you guys have been through a lot. I know you went into hyperdrive when this all started to happen, and you signed up like umpty schools and districts, and you've upgraded all of the things that your product does. And you're still dedicated solely to K-12, right?
We do actually support higher ed as well.
Okay.
It's a smaller market, but we're getting there. We have teams there that support higher ed. We have a couple customers in Tennessee that are in the higher ed space.
Okay, good. Well, I'm going to ask Doug right now to make sure we have our next guest on, which is Robin Nunes. But in the meantime, I don't see her on here yet. So I want to ask you another thing, which is just the human toll for all of you in Classlink, supporting all these schools and districts. It's been tough on schools, we know, but on the commercial side, I think it's been just as tough on you guys.
Yes. So we did get a lot of new customers last year, and I can tell you that our help desk was working hours like that you would not believe, because Classlink is known for its white glove customer service. That is one thing that you will hear time and time again from our customers, is these people really care, and you have a team, and you pick up the phone and all of these things. And then COVID-19, hit, and we really, oh man, our teams, it took a toll on a lot of folks. And the good thing is since then we have expanded. And we have just an unbelievable support system that our CEO has put into place now in 2021 to continue offering and to scale while offering our customers what they expect and what they deserve when you become a part of our family and a partnership. This is what we do. And it is very dear to him and important to him that we continue that. It was hard. It was tough.
Yeah, it's been tough. Yeah, I met Burge in New York in 2019. He was awesome. I really like the guy a lot. All right. Well, thank you very, very much. And feel free to stay on to interact some more.